Logistics business. That's what you're looking for, right? I can help you out with it. My name's Brando Linick, and first and foremost, this is going to be a little bit of a business model breakdown review, sharing with you critical information that you got to know about the business and how it can get the results that you want, whether that's time freedom, flexibility, be your own boss, create your own income. It's important you know this stuff because having gotten around a lot of people who've been highly successful at starting their own logistics business and people who have not been so successful starting their own logistics business or shipping business, if you want to call it that. The difference between the two, all right, is people who I've gotten around who've made, multiple six figures. They planned out their business. They planned it out step by step. They knew what their overhead was going to be, their initial upfront overhead. They knew how long it was going to take them to get a return on their investment. And a lot of these guys, I'm just telling you, and gals, okay, I've gotten around girls who've done this, a lot of them have been in the business for them to hit that point like 10, 15, 25 years. So they're older fellows, okay, they've been in the business model for a long time. It took them a while to get to it, which is something you got to keep in mind when it comes to the territory. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not a gimmick, okay? This is real life. This is business. So the first tip I would give you is manage your overhead, manage your upfront investment. Now with a logistics business, you're looking at trucks, you're looking at trailers, you're looking at a fleet, okay? Or you could do this not on road, you could do this by air, okay? Either way, you're dealing with equipment, supplies, employees, tracking, an office space, okay? Maintaining that office space on a daily, weekly basis. And all this stuff, if you don't have the budget set aside of at least $100,000 to start, okay, I would suggest before you consider starting a logistics business, if you're only looking at it because you want to be in business and be your own boss, if that's really what you're looking for, before you consider going down this path and planning out a business plan, which is how you start it, map out a business plan, get your business license, register your business, and then look at your overhead that you're going to need, projections of, how many customers you're going to need, okay, what your costs are going to be to run it on a monthly, yearly basis, and then planning all that out, which is essentially how you start it. But before you consider going through all that, which I'm telling you, it can be a headache planning out all that stuff, if you are looking at it because you want to be your own boss, learn how to build a business in a true leveraged way where your income is leveraged and it's high, but your overhead and workload is lower. And my story with this goes back about a year ago when I transitioned from a traditional business. I came across a person who was building a business on the internet, and they weren't dealing with freights, they weren't dealing with shipping and handling, driving across the country, all right, shipping things out. They weren't dealing with supplies, equipment, employees, none of that. They were working right from their computer on the internet without doing anything technical and without even creating their own product and service. And those are not average or typical results because they've been able to create a high multiple six-figure income business online, but it's to share with you what's possible. And if you're looking at starting a logistics business only because you want to be in business and you want to be a boss, all right, be your own boss, learn how to build a business online. If that's the case where you can create high profit margins and low overhead, the internet is your best friend. All right, you're using it right now. You might as well leverage it to your benefit if that's really what you're looking at a business for. And this is what I was looking at. I came across this person, started to model and copy them because it was so attractive what they were doing. Less than a month later, working my butt off really hard and learning some things, I was able to create a full-time income business working part-time. And I share that with you because I want to emphasize this again. I know kind of repeating myself, but it's worth repeating. If you're looking at starting a business to be your own boss, create your own income, learn to build a business on the internet. I shared with you briefly how you can start a logistics business by planning out and going through a business plan, okay, which is what all the successful people have done who I've gotten around who have done it. But before you go through that headache of planning out all that stuff, okay, before you head down that path, only if you're looking at this to be in business to create leverage, time, freedom, flexibility, if that's the case, learn how to leverage your best friend. Learn how to leverage the internet that you're on right now to build yourself, your lifestyle, and your income. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a little bit of a review. I know more so touching base on internet stuff than the logistics stuff, but I figured I would compare the two to give you a little bit of an insight and just share with you kind of my experience. So I hope some of you enjoyed this. I know some of you not your boat, but that's totally cool. I look forward to seeing your success stories, seeing you on the beaches of the world. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more information on how to build a business on the internet, if you're willing to work, if you're willing to learn, check out my site, connect with me. It's 123marketingtips.com. I'll put a link in the description, and I look forward to seeing you there and seeing you succeed. Take care.